about it.
how did it even go through in the first place? Because doesn't the
Yeah.
league have to know about trades before they happen? Because they've blocked a number of trades in the past. Like CP3 was
Yes.
supposed to be a Laker at one point. Like there's been like a number of different trades that just didn't get approved. The fact that this one got approved is wild to me.
Well,
Yeah.
we
Well,
go ahead, Eddie.
I think it also helps for the brand moving Luka to LA, being a huge market team. And I have to assume that's one of the reasons why it didn't, because obviously now everyone's talking about the NBA. You see it everywhere. Like the Lakers are just even bigger than they somehow got even bigger than they were like a year ago because they landed someone. And you also bring in like more of a European market to watch more of the games because the Lakers are such a big time franchise. And I think that's why partial was a reason to let it go through. But yeah, just like Zach said, that trade got declined on 2K. Everybody was trying to do that on the game.
I saw
And,
that. That was
and
amazing.
I think the quote was like, the Mavericks are giving up the best asset in Luka Doncic, and what you're giving back is like nowhere near like competent.
It's true. But let's talk about another conspiracy theory brought up by Dwayne Wade, which I see this. I don't think this is a conspiracy. The reason it did go through, we've been sidestepping the last 4 weeks on our docket. We've been saying we got to figure out how to fix the NBA. We were so worried about football season being over and just having nothing to talk about. Usually in the past, basketball's been at an all-time low. And Dwayne Wade said, he goes, I could think of 30 billionaires who needed this. This was for not only the brand of Los Angeles, but this was for the entire NBA. This shoots life and interest, back into the NBA. I know, me being a Laker fan or whatever, but anything, just if Luka would have went to New York or, one of these other teams, the NBA seemed to be getting so stale, so predictable. What do you guys think about that conspiracy theory that the owners push this, and this is why Pelinka knew I'm not giving up another first round pick or 2 more first round picks? Do you guys believe that what Dwayne Wade said about that?
The owners, they run the league. Like even, I mean, the commissioner may be in charge, but like the owners run stuff. And I mean, that's probably something that I could believe more than anything, because when you look at professional sports, it's the big ones. If you look at the NFL, those commissioners and those GMs, those owners, like they run everything. So I could see the same thing being said for the NBA, especially, and you said it, like we've kicked the can down the road of like, how would we fix the NBA topic so many times when it's on our docket? But like, I don't think that this fixes the NBA, right? Like, I really don't. Like, I truly don't think that it's going to, like, the ratings are going to be high the first time Luka steps on the court with the Lakers. And everybody's going to be like, okay, let's watch like a couple of games to see how they get it together. And then it's like, all right, I'll come back around for the playoffs and the championship, right? Like people aren't going to like, they haven't stuck around because there's no more villains in the NBA. Like call Draymond Green a villain all you want. He's not a villain, guys. Like he's just annoying as shit and gets teched like every single game. So like that's the thing is I don't think that this is going to truly fix anything, but I do agree that they needed Luka in a bigger market, right? Like it's not to say that Dallas is a small market, but the Lakers are the biggest market out there, no matter if they're winning or losing. The Lakers are like the Cowboys. They're going to talk about the Cowboys no matter what. I mean, I think, what was it? Like the day after this trade happened, I turned on ESPN. They had like 7 segments of people talking about this. Like they brought in Shams, who broke the news. They brought in Stephen A. They brought in Big Perk. They brought in every single guy, and anybody that was in basketball, men and women. And they had their own maybe 10-minute segment, just adding more and more to the same conversation. Like, we can't have a panel, so this will be the next best thing of having a panel. And they just went straight in on this Laker trade for maybe 30 to 40 minutes. And it just kept going from this person is now on satellite camera to this person is calling in to this person. And they're just giving, all their different takes and stuff. So it gave a lot of fodder to the, you know, sports fans, and it allows us to talk about something that's happening in the NBA. But like, I don't see it fixing it. Like, you don't have the bad boy Pistons anymore. You don't have the Bulls. Like, I know that like I'm being kind of nostalgic for the 90s, but like back then, those guys hated each other. Even in the Kobe Shaq era, those teams did not get along. There were fights back then. There were hard fouls back then. So the game was just different. Even the All-Star game was different. Those guys wanted to bust each other's asses. Now you're getting 170-point games, and dudes are throwing up dunks that they should be putting in the dunk contest, but they're refusing to be in that. So there's just a lot of stuff that they need to fix that I think would ultimately bring back the NBA that everybody loved. But having, what is it, Mac McClung come in from the freaking G League to do the dunk contest every year isn't going to do it, guys. Like, nobody watches him ever, and now we're worried about what he's going to do in the dunk contest. Like, what'll spark something, at least when it comes to the All-Star, is when Caitlin Clark decides to enter the 3-point competition. She's not doing it this year. I guarantee you it'll happen in next year if she comes in and it's her versus Steph Curry and then Sabrina Ionescu. Like, the women's side of things is doing better than the men's because there's so much more drama on the women's side that people want to see. The lack of drama in the NBA, it just doesn't exist. And this trade gave us some drama for what, a couple weeks until Luka comes in. I think Tuesday is when he's supposed to debut.
Maybe Saturday.
I saw Saturday.
Maybe
Saturday. I saw Tuesday. I think was initial, and now maybe it's probably gonna be Saturday. But like, until he comes in, and you know, we'll have conversations about how they look and the chemistry. LeBron's already saying it's going to be seamless. We'll talk about that for 2 weeks, and then it's like, okay, what's going to happen in the playoffs? And everybody will move on to that once they see how it all works out. But I think the D-Wade's on to something. It probably was the owners that were like, we need this trade to go through. We need to have them in a bigger market and have more parity. But man, it's a terrible trade though. It's
wild, right? It's wild because if you look at it, if Dallas doesn't win a championship this year or next year, it's a failure. I give Nico a lot of credit for sticking to his guns and making this. He knows that this, that this could ruin him and his career forever. You never want to be the guy who gave Wilt Chamberlain to the Lakers or gave, Kobe Bryant, traded a draft day from Charlotte to the Lakers. You never want to be the GM to make that horrific mistake